Rob Williams has 10 minutes to survive. If he does, he can remain here at Wildside. If he loses within the next 10 minutes, he's gone from Wildside again for a period of 30 days and away from the NCW arena.
For a 10-minute time limit of this matchup, broad kick by Dynamite Rob Williams. Williams, a tremendous competitor. I've said it all along. Rising up the ladder of Wildside. Exploder suplex by Dynamite Rob Williams. And he was just going to have to find his niche in Wildside. He didn't find his niche. He carved a new niche here, getting the absolute balls, and I'll say it, to step up and take on the Elite when nobody else would.
That he does. He's got courage to spare. He needs all he can get, because this is ostensibly a handicap match. The cards are stacked against Rob Dynamite Williams in this match. It could be very much be bad news here, but he needs to have eyes in the back of his head at all times, and that's going to be tough indeed.
Oh, that Terry Knight with a forearm, the technical assassin, as he goes suplex on the floor by David Young. And now this team decimating Dynamite Rob Williams. Like I said, what a heart and determination. Williams even involved himself in this matter he had nothing to do with. But now he does, because you know as well as I do, once you cross the NWA Elite, you are on that hit list for a lifetime until they take you out or you do something about it. Rob Williams is choosing to do something about it here this week on Wildside.
When Rob Williams gets those opportunities, he takes them. That's one of the reasons why he was at one time a sort of NWA World Tag Team Champion. And he certainly deserved to be a genuine tag team champion, if you ask me. He's got the goods in spades, and he's going to need it all here against the tandem of both Terry Knight and David Young, and of course, Mr. Wildside, Steve Martin at the ringside too. Things on the surface appear very prim for Dynamite Rob Williams.
And now I wouldn't piss on Terry Knight if he was on fire, but what a testament to the toughness of this guy, getting burned alive just a few weeks ago at Freedom Fight 2001, and here in the ring, not only competing, but wrestling a full-scale match. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not a full-scale match. I mean, Terry Knight is actually one of two people going against one. So yeah, I mean, Terry Knight has certainly got a lot of bravery after getting torched alive. I mean, the people are calling him Sparky backstage, and he's taking it with some good cheer, but I can tell it's kind of grating at him. I'm tempted to want to call him Sparky right now myself, still having been aligned with Steve Martin, despite the fact he turned into a piece of toast, literally, at Freedom Fight 2001, an event I'm happy to report is finally available on NCW Home Video.
And this David Young, he is the total package. He is everything you could ever want in a hitman, an enforcer, or a wrestler. This guy can brawl. He can go to the street. He can fight and brawl. He can mat wrestle. He can fly through the air. He uses power maneuvers. And he's an 11-year veteran. He has size, experience, agility, dexterity, and longevity. And David Young is one of the most unstoppable forces here in Wildside on his own, not to mention team with his technical assassin, Terry Knight.
That's true. David Young, formerly one half of the four-time NWA World Tag Team Champions. Bad attitude, and I think his attitude is about as bad as they come. And since aligning himself with Steve Martin, it's gotten worse. That's pretty bad.
We got to take a quick commercial break, fans. We'll be back with more of this handicap match. Can Rob Williams survive? You'll find out right after this.
We're back. A very, very game Rob Williams fighting back in ostensibly a handicap match and part of a series of survival matches this week on Wildside. If Rob Williams survives 10 minutes of this match, and so far so good, he can stay here in Wildside. If not, he's gone from the NCW arena and Wildside for 30 days.
5 minutes gone by in the time limit. 5 minutes remaining.
At the halfway point, who was that timekeeper? You recognize him?
I don't know him.
Good. A charging lariat from David Young, and down goes Rob. Again, to win this match, if you're Rob Williams, hang tight. Simply hang tight and try not to get pinned. for 5 more minutes. And if you can pull that one off, and with David Young and Terry Knight, that's going to be a tough one. If you can pull that one off, we'll still have Rob Williams with us at the Wild Side. And these days, we need as much help as we can get.
Definitely, with this NWA Elite running the show, so to speak. With Bill Behrens out of the picture, and we don't know how long he's going to be out.
Bill Behrens is not a professional wrestler. He can't take the kind of punishment we saw at the beginning of last week's show. He is out of commission, and Steve Martin is ostensibly running the show, pretty much selecting the matches with everything going on in the favor of his boys, the NWA Elite.
4 minutes remaining in the matchup. 4 minutes.
Hopefully Rob Williams heard the dulcet tones of ring announcer Dan the Dragon Wilson. He's got 4 minutes to survive in this match, and Terry Knight and David Young have a little less than 4 minutes in order to take Rob Williams out of the picture.
Come on, Rob, you can do it. All you got to do is hang in there. Give it a slam by Terry Knight. All you got to do, Rob, is survive 3.5 more minutes. That's all it's going to take. Thank you for coming to bat against the Elite, Rob. Just hang in there.
If Rob can just keep away from that devastating spine buster of David Young, I think he might have a chance. We've seen Rob Williams being involved in matches 30-plus minutes in the past.
3 minutes remaining in the matchup. 3 minutes.
Yes, sir. Perhaps a double pin from Rob. Not quite going. Oh, good Lord. It took 2 to do it. But Rob Williams is now paying the price.
Well, David Young and Terry Knight not really going for pinfalls here, which is very interesting to me, because if Rob Williams only has 2.5 more minutes left to hang on in this matchup.
They're taking their time, that's true. I don't think that's a good idea at all. I guess they know Rob Williams pretty well. They know you're not going to get a pin on Rob Williams in any short period of time. Oh, but now Steve Martin choking the life of Rob Williams on that second rope. Like it isn't a handicap match enough. Now Steve Martin's getting involved.
Two minutes remaining in the matchup. 2 minutes.
And still yet no more pin attempts on Rob Williams. I think by now they should probably go to their final part of their plan to take Rob Williams out of the wild side scenario.
He's got about 1.5 minutes to put him away. But David Young, if he hits the moonsault, Rob Williams out of the way. Rob Williams is out of the way. Now this is his opportunity to duck and run for 1 minute and 20 some odd seconds. Rob Williams ducks a clothesline. Swinging bulldog on Terry Knight.
Williams has single-handedly taken out both Terry Knight and David Young so far. Hang on, 60 more seconds. Rob Williams.
1 minute remaining. 1 minute remaining in the time limit.
Rob Williams needs to dig down deep, deeper than he's ever dug before into that body of his, just to survive 45 more seconds, and he could possibly still stay with us here at Wildside.
And they're going to try to make Rob Williams grit it out. They're going to try to make him submit. They're going to try to humiliate him for interfering in the business of the NWA Elite.
Only 20 more seconds remain.
20 seconds remaining. 20 seconds.
If Rob can hang on, and it's going to be difficult.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
He didn't tap out. He did not tap out. Rob Williams remains with Wildside. They were not able, both Terry Knight and David Young were not capable of taking out Rob Williams. He could not tap out. Now Steve Martin handing it to Speedy Nelson. Nelson. But Rob Williams is almost out cold, but didn't get a tap out, and that was key.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Williams survives the 10 minutes.
The plan of Steve Martin so far is not working at 100%. He was able to get total destruction away from Wildside for 30 days. He was not able to do the same for Rob Williams.
Oh my goodness, Terry Knight getting that double team finishing maneuver. It's AJ Styles!
And how interesting, Terry Knight and David Young bail on out.
Rob Williams survived 10 minutes, but coming up in your main event is AJ Styles going to be able to survive the full 15 minutes against the World Television Champion and an athlete the caliber of Jason Cross. You can only find out if you do not go anywhere during this commercial break. We'll be back. More Wildside right after this.